Now let's turn our attention. We're going to march our way through, if you will, through a variety of major categories of psych disorders. And the first one is anxiety disorders. And this is probably the one that a lot of people really do relate to, partly because all of us experience anxiety in some form or another. Many everyday experiences carry with it anxiety. Public speaking is probably the top vote getter when it comes to anxiety in people's lives. Preparing to play a game, if you're an athlete or whatever, for a game. I'm sitting here recording this on Sunday, and the Broncos are getting ready to play the game this afternoon. And these players are experiencing a certain level of anxiety, and it's not bad. Oftentimes you can find a way to have an optimal level of anxiety in order to get the best play. If you saw the movie, for example, Man on a Ledge, and got a little squeamish about it, heights are another place. Some people talk about being in closed spaces, claustrophobia. All of those are examples where every day we experience some measure of anxiety. In contrast, and when we talk about anxiety disorders, we're talking about another level up in terms of the disruption. Now, if you remember the 3 Ds that we talked about, deviance, that may not fit, but distress, absolutely, and dysfunctionality, absolutely. They are characterized by distressing, so there's that word, distressing, persistent anxiety. Let me put this, anxiety or dysfunctional anxiety reducing behavior. So both of these fit in. So you have the anxiety itself or distressing or dysfunctional anxiety reducing behaviors. So the example of that, sorry, just a quick sneeze. Dysfunctional anxiety reducing behaviors. An example of that would be abusing prescription drugs to manage anxiety. Oftentimes you see people drinking. You see people engaging in, an excessive level of compulsive behaviors or ritualistic types of behaviors. So all of those fall into what we're talking about with anxiety disorders. Now, subcategories within this, two that I want to look at just at this point, is what we refer to as generalized anxiety disorder and generalized anxiety disorder. We often refer to this as GAD or GAD. And another one is panic disorder. Now, let's make some distinctions between these. Let me start with GAD first, and I'll work with that one first, or disorder. Generalized anxiety is a state where the person is continually tense, apprehensive, in a state of autonomic nervous system arousal, and that's so. Let me create category here, and we'll go down here for GAD. And essentially, they are restless. They are in a persistent state of tenseness. And be sure to put in persistent, because we don't. I think generally we can say, well, yeah, I'm tense all the time. Well, you may be less than you think, and it's not persistent and across the board all day long. Now, there may be people who do experience that, and increased arousal. And each one of these are part of the backdrop of GAD. It is there every day. They feel like they might feel breathless. They are edgy. They feel like they can't relax. And they are constantly vigilant. And that's that arousal that I was talking about earlier. So generalized anxiety disorder, as it suggests, is this person is in a constant state of apprehension. They feel like the other shoe is going to drop. Something bad is always going to happen. They're always anticipating doom, or something bad's going to happen. And they stay in this alert state regularly and constantly, essentially. And that's part of GAD. Panic disorder is a different animal in a lot of ways. Panic disorder is one in which the anxiety escalates very, very quickly. And let me write this. Escalates. Yeah, that looks awful. I'm reading it and seeing how badly I'm writing it. So escalates at an extremely rapid rate, suddenly, and at times into what we refer to as a panic attack. A lot of panic attacks are oftentimes brought into the ER looking like, and I'll do an approximate, a heart attack. The person has all the characteristics of it. They may have tingling in their arms, they may have chest pain, they may have shortness of breath, and the doctor takes them in and does an EKG and finds out there's nothing wrong with the person's heart, but they are experiencing a panic attack, and that's part of a panic disorder. There is a video that I think I will probably be able to attach to this particular video of a young woman who has, excuse me, who has a snake phobic, is snake phobic, which we'll talk about in a minute. But she experiences a panic attack as related to the anticipated encounter with a snake, for example. People may not have it be that specific when we're talking about panic disorder, partly because they're not really monitoring the levels of their anxiety through any given day. So the anxiety escalates really suddenly. They have all of these experiences of the heart palpitations and the heart rate increasing, and numbness and chest pain and so forth. And it really is related to the psych disorder, which we refer to as a panic disorder. Now, let's take a look at two other ones, which is pictured in this little cartoon of OCD and PTSD, which will be on the next video.